Hi everyone, my name is Keith Cadieux and I'm here to do a reading from my book Signal Decay, which was published by At Bay Press. So first I'd just like to give a little shout out to Thin Air and everyone at the Winnipeg International Writers Festival for having me. I know it's virtual for the second time in a row, but I'm really glad that they're still able to keep all of this going and keep producing such great content throughout the pandemic and as everything changes. So kudos and hats off to them. Okay, so I don't really have to give much of a preamble because I'm just going to read a little bit from the beginning of my chapbook or a novelette or, short little thing, whatever you'd like to call it. But this is Signal Decay. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, please hang up or press pound for more options. Hi Deborah, it's Lori. I know you've all been waiting to hear from me for a long time now. Sorry, I don't have everything quite sorted out, but there is something I need to show you. Please call me back. Bye. If you are satisfied with your recording, hang up now. Otherwise, press star to try again. Lori pushed the side button, putting the phone to sleep. She set it down on Tim's desk, next to the clutter and spread of papers. The tops of everything were dusty, the only clear spots in the shape of small finger swipes where Lori had briefly touched. She had meant to clear it all up, had even started to do it, but couldn't bring herself to finish. If the top was clean and free of clutter, it would be totally alien to what she was used to. It wouldn't be Tim's desk anymore. She continued clicking through the hundreds of folders saved on his computer, and then scanning through the hundreds and hundreds of audio files tucked away in them. Over the last 2 weeks, she had made her way through quite a few. To her mind, she was making good progress. It was tiring work. Some of the files were only a few seconds, if even that. Some of them just micro snippets of one unique, painfully particular sound. A door closing, a door opening, a doorknob turning, a left footstep, a right footstep, a dog bark. Other files were hours long, hours of seemingly nothing. She had the hardest time with these. It was so tempting to just skip through them, but she worried about missing what she was looking for. What a waste if she were to just skip over it. She had a brief moment of triumph when she figured out how to open Tim's mixing software, rather than just using the plain music player. And one of the windows in that program showed a visual readout of the file, a level line that peaked upwards in sharp points when there was a sound that emerged out of the background. This made scanning the long files actually viable, as she just had to scroll along the line until something stood out, and then she could play the file and listen to the specific sound, looking for him. At first, when she heard the sound of keys in the door, she assumed it was coming from the computer, part of the audio file. But then she heard Tim's mother say her name. "Lori, are you home?" "Back here," she said. What time was it? She had only just left that message, hadn't she? She clicked the program shut and turned the monitor off. She still felt it somehow improper to be seen going through Tim's things, even though that's what she was supposed to have been doing for nearly a month now. Lori stepped out of the tiny office into the apartment hallway to meet Deborah, who was taking slow and careful steps into the kitchen, eyeing the pile of dishes and fast food wrappers tossed on the counter, the empty wine boxes piled on the floor next to the blue bin. A bottle rarely lasted her a day lately. "I got your message," Deborah said, pretending not to stare at the mess. "Should I put on some coffee for us?" she asked. "Sure, that's fine," Lori said. She began gathering up some of the clutter and discovered that the garbage can was already full. She pulled the edges of the plastic bag up, tried to cram more inside. Neither spoke while Deborah rinsed the coffee pot and then filled the sink while the coffee maker began to sputter and hiss. "Do you have any boxes for me to take, since I'm here?" Deborah asked, drying her hands. "Thanks for doing those," Lori said. "And no boxes yet." Deborah sighed through pursed lips. In one slow motion, she took off her glasses and started to rub the lenses with the bottom hem of her shirt. "I'm about out of patience here, Lori. You won't let us come in and take anything, but you're not doing any of the work. Not all of this stuff is for you. He has family who wants to remember him too. His sisters, his nephew, not to mention me and Gary." She folded the moist tea towel in half and draped it over the handle on the oven door. "And then there's the money side of it. None of us knew how badly in debt he was. The both of you were. We're trying not to leave you with all of it, but if you don't want our help, then I know all of this. You're not helping me by dredging it in front of my face. I can't just pack him up into boxes and be done with it," she said. "It doesn't work that way. Not after what he meant to me. This part isn't up to you. I knew him better than any of you. Laurie's face was getting hot and red. Her throat felt blocked, a growth of pain trying so hard to claw its way up out of her and spew over the world she'd been left with. Deborah sighed. After one more breath, she reached into the cupboard and took out 2 mugs, filled them with coffee. If we sell his equipment, then we can make a real dent into the credit cards. The loans are more complicated, but have more wiggle room, she said as she handed the mug to Laurie. I've been working on that. I'm going through the computer, making sure that there isn't anything we should keep, or anything useful even. I might find someone to sell all the gear to among all his projects and contracts and stuff. We can't sell that computer without knowing what he left on it. Okay, Deborah said. She blew on her coffee. That sounds fair. Is that what you wanted to show me? No, not exactly. Sort of related, though. Laurie took a gulp of coffee, didn't react when it burnt her tongue and throat. Come around here. I'll show you on the TV. She hurried around the corner and started picking up remote controls. There were 7 laid out on the coffee table. They were the only things in the room not coated in dust or crumbs. The first show Tim made me watch with him was I Love Lucy, she said. His grandfather used to watch that with him when he was little, Deborah said. The 2 of them would laugh themselves stupid. I never found it all that funny, she said. It still made him laugh, even though he'd seen it over and over. But that wasn't why he wanted to show it to me. He said it was the reason he got into sound design. We watched a few episodes so that I could hear how the husband, Ricky, laughs. They were husband and wife in real life, you know. He loved telling me stuff like that. She took a sip of coffee, and Deborah refilled her mug and came back. Anyway, as you probably noticed, if you've seen it, the actor who plays Ricky has a very distinct, very loud laugh. At first I thought it was obnoxious and just bad acting. There's no way someone really laughs like that. But then Tim showed me a bunch of scenes that he's not in, but you can hear that laugh in the background. He's just part of the audience and laughing his damn head off. It's unmistakably him, and Tim always thought it was so sweet that you could hear how much he genuinely enjoyed watching his wife perform, that, to judge by the sound, he was the one she made laugh the most. That's so sweet, Deborah said. It sounds like the kind of thing that he would latch onto. I know, when he first told me that, I almost cried. He just filled my heart. It was such a tender thought. Anyway, listen to this, Laurie said. She had the TV and the whole sound system turned on. She flew through the PVR menu and clicked play on something so quickly that Deborah didn't see the name. A sitcom appeared on the screen, people sitting around a kitchen table. This isn't I Love Lucy, Deborah said. No, just listen. Wait until the end of this joke. Deborah stayed quiet but kept her eye on Laurie, who stared clean through the TV screen. When the laugh track started, she cranked the volume knob on the expensive speaker unit. Deborah winced, spilled her coffee as she brought one hand over her ear. There, Laurie shouted. Can you turn it down, please? Deborah said, setting the mug down, shaking coffee off her fingers. Listen this time. Listen to the laugh, okay? I won't turn it up so loud this time. She skipped back a few seconds, then let the laugh track play again. Did you hear it? I don't know what you mean, Laurie. The laugh. Listen to the laughing. She reversed again, let it play back, raised her eyebrows expectantly at Deborah. That's Tim's laugh. Clear as day, she said. Deborah didn't say anything. This is just the first one I've found. There's also this one, Laurie said, going back to the PVR menu and selecting another recording. She played that one, again queued up to a spot with a joke, a laugh track which sounded much the same as the previous one. Did you hear it that time? She dropped the remote on the table and picked up a DVD case. Now here's where it gets really strange, she said, popping the disc into the player. Those other two are pretty recent, newer shows that probably use the laugh track from the same digital library. They don't actually record audiences for those laughs. But then I had this on in the background while I was going through Tim's computer. And listen to this one. She skipped to a particular episode and then a later scene, fast-forwarding until a particular spot. She handed Deborah the DVD case before she hit play. It was the fourth season of Saturday Night Live. Laurie pushed play. There it is again, Tim's laugh, but it's a different recording this time. It lasts a little bit longer, but it's still him, I'm sure of it. I don't understand, Laurie. First, I don't hear it, but it can't be him. He didn't work on shows like this. I don't remember him ever saying he was making laugh tracks, but even if he did, why would he be one of the people laughing? And this show, Lori, this is from the 70s. Look, she said, turning the case over, scanning the fine print. Right there. 1978. Tim wasn't born yet. It's him, Lori said. I know him. I know that sound. That is him laughing. It is. So that's where I will leave you for now, but thanks very much for tuning in. My name is Keith Cadieux. Thank you again to Thin Air and the Winnipeg Writers Festival, and enjoy all the show and all the other writers, and we'll see you soon.